Mr. Cook? Mr. Howard? Just down here. Thanks so much for coming in.
That's all right. I like Oxfam.
Me too. I like your shops.
It's where he gets all his clothes from.
Anything to help a good cause, Jack. I love a little shop.
We were worried you might have left YouTube, Ben.
I had.
Yeah, might as well have done. What's it been, 3 months?
4. How long since the last Jack and Dean sketch?
Don't worry about it.
This is where the magic happens. Head office. Welcome to Oxfam. I'll sign you in.
You could have shaved.
I'm a recluse.
You look like a Turkish kebab shop owner.
And I think that's racist.
We're in the meeting room. Comfy chairs, bean bags. This way. Can I get you a drink?
It's 10 a.m, Judy.
Tea or coffee? What do you know about Syria? The worst humanitarian crisis this century.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
You'll have seen it on the news. The conflict between Syrian government forces and opposing groups. More than 100,000 people have been killed.
Shit.
Over 2 million Syrians have fled to neighbouring countries, many with little more than the clothes on their backs. Children are among the hardest hit. They desperately need our help. Oxfam is launching an appeal to help the families affected by the crisis get through the harsh winter months and beyond. And we're keen to engage with the UK YouTube community.
Aren't we all?
You got a point there.
Your involvement with our appeal could make a real and positive impact. I watched your most recent Becoming YouTube. You talked about changing the world.
Well, that's...
And then you sang about it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
You sang about it too.
Don't know what you're talking about.
How would you like Oxfam to send you to Jordan?
The model.
The country.
Obviously the country. Jack, are you doing this on purpose?
We'd love you to visit one of the refugee camps or tented settlements out there. Some of what you'll see will be harrowing. As you've probably heard, the security situation in the region is, shall we say, volatile. But I think you'll find it interesting. And it could make a real difference. You could save lives. What do you say? Will you go out to Jordan on behalf of Oxfam?
No.
Absolutely not.
It sounds dreadful.
And dangerous. What would my parents say?
I'm not doing it. I don't want to go.
He always says that.
Piss off.
But seriously though, we're not going to the Middle East.
Absolutely not.
No way.
Sorry, Oxfam.
That's a shame. But it has to be your decision.
Too right.
Listen, we have a plan B.
The rapper?
Not the rapper. We came up with an alternative in case you weren't too keen on going to Jordan. How about staying in the UK and filming a collab video with a big-name YouTuber in which you could shout out the Syrian crisis, maybe do a poverty tag. Is that a thing?
Sounds more like it. A lot less kerfuffle.
Less dangerous.
Yeah.
We were thinking you could collab with this young man. He's very popular.
What's up, guys? Throughout my time on YouTube, one thing that I've always loved to do is let you guys know as much about me and my personal life as much as I possibly can. I thought I'd tell you some embarrassing things and make a fool of myself, so here are 25 facts about me. Was once my mum asked me what I wanted to be when I was older, and I replied, Mum, I want to be that guy that walks around the park picking up dog poo.
Classic Alfie. Imagine it. Ben Cook, Jack Howard, and Pointless Blog TV together at last. What do you say?
Tell us more about this trip to Jordan.
Day after day you get up, you pray that everything okay. Day after
You thought I'd left YouTube, didn't you? Maybe I had. Well, I've come back to finish what I started, like Gandalf the White. A year since I uploaded Becoming YouTube Ep 1, we're nearing the end of this 12-part weekly series, only one more ep to go after this one. And it's a new year, so it's time to reflect. It's time for a little perspective. In 2013, YouTube cemented itself as one of the quickest, most engaging ways to impart information, news and opinions to a worldwide audience. Online video has put the tools of publishing in anyone's hands. We can all become YouTube now, even you. But with 100 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute, are there too many voices? How does any one person or cause get heard above all the noise? In 2013, most of us cared more about what does the fox say than what, for example, the refugees of Syria have to say. Now that the audience, all of us, can be part of the media as bloggers, journalists and YouTubers, that's changing the world in ways that we're only beginning to appreciate. That's what this video is about. And it uses one of the major news stories of 2013, and just you wait, 2014, the crisis in Syria, as its case study. If you want a bit of background to the brutal civil war in Syria and the ensuing refugee crisis, which they're dubbing the greatest humanitarian crisis in modern history, by which they mean the worst, not the best, that would be a tasteless top 10 list, I'd recommend Hank Green's Syria in 5 Minutes video.
So I got some good news and I got some bad news about Syria. That's a lie. I only have bad news. It is only bad news. It is a terrible situation. But there is no solving problems.
And if you don't like Hank Green videos, then what's wrong with you? Seriously, here's a photo of a kitten in a hoodie. Is that better? Better than Syria? How about this picture of Casper Lee? Look at him, go on, look! Look! This tented settlement on the outskirts of Jordan's capital city Amman is home to 120 refugee families. Their tents are made of cardboard, corrugated iron, sheeting and anything else they can find. This is Manyuf. He's 24. He fled here from Syria with his wife and 2 kids. The day before Jack and I and our cameraman Kieran visit, it rained here, flooding a large section of the settlement. Manyuf filmed it on his phone. The refugees frantically dug channels in the soil in a bid to divert the flow of rainwater which had mixed with sewage from the settlement's makeshift toilets. Since our visit, there's been snow here and more flooding. Raw sewage streams through the tents, posing a huge health risk. Oxfam tells us that the families in this settlement are in desperate need of blankets, stoves and plastic sheeting to keep them protected from the elements. This is what poverty looks like. There's no punchline, just the filth and degradation that people are living in. We wonder why they'd choose this over Syria. Was it that bad back home? Actually, it was, as Manyuf and his neighbour Malham explain.
Kids like this. They take kids and they cut their heads off. They chop their heads off. They burn the bodies.
Over 50% of Syrian refugees are children. In Syria, children are not being protected. In some instances, they're being targeted. Hundreds of children killed intentionally. It's important that the world knows,
I'm saying that people are seeing, but they're not doing anything. They're not helping.
Oxfam would prefer we focused on the humanitarian side of this crisis, the aid that Oxfam is trying to provide. But I think you need to know the context too, why Manyuf and Malham and Syrians like them have fled here to Jordan. They want you to know. They want their stories told.
واللي ظل حرقوها ابار المي دموها حطوا فيها حجر وطمروها يعني لو تأمنوا منطقتنا يعني يقتلوا الاطفال ينتهكوا الاعراض.
If we stayed there, they would kill the kids. They would be killed. They would be killed.
يعني جماعة وحوش.
They are monsters.
ما بيعرفوا شيء.
Online video has allowed the war in Syria to be documented like no other conflict in history. According to YouTube, over 1 million videos showing all sides of the war have been uploaded since January 2012, receiving hundreds of millions of views. The unprecedented combination of 2 technologies, mobile phone cameras and social media, has produced via the instant upload what the Wall Street Journal labelled as a new phenomenon, the YouTube war. And in this brave, scary new world where we're all news gatherers, filmmakers and storytellers, with all these voices crying out, mine, yours, the refugees, Oxfams, I wonder whose voices get heard. Those that need to be? Those that shout the loudest? Or the people with the most money? Or most expensive cameras? Or most subscribers? Is this internet, this YouTube, as democratic a platform as we thought? In Jack's Jordan video, which I'll link to at the end, he talks about what we're supposed to feel when we see sad, difficult real-life things on screen. If you're feeling detached watching our Jordan trip on YouTube, you may be surprised to know that that's how Jack and I were feeling too, and we were there.
I'm just kind of here and I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's like when I found out my dad had a heart attack a couple of years ago, I just was like, I'm gonna go sit down. Like, I just don't, there's no response at all.
Has the age of the YouTube war brought about the most terrifying of outcomes, more and more of us witnessing terrible things, whilst at the same time growing kind of blasé about them? Are we becoming desensitised? Is that what mass media has done, made us too familiar with the plight of every fucker? Think about it, how many charity videos have you sat through in the past year alone? Every comic relief, sport relief, children in need, Live Aid style charity song, charity project, project foursome, don't forget to give, give, give. You've seen it before. You know how charity videos work. Sad but inspiring music to make you feel more feels. That's it. And focus on the children. That's the rule, isn't it? Shots of children, and another one, and another child. And that's a chicken, that's Jack Howard, that's better, more children. Shit, happy children, don't show them, show sad ones. Yeah, he looks sad, that's better. Now hang on, he's smiling, move away! Not suitable, nor them, don't look, look away!
Take off the hat.
Oh, it's like it's free. Oh, that's better.
Oh, they're like every fangirl on YouTube, staring at the red hair.
It's like Summer in the City all over again.
This is what you wanted, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is why you came to Jordan.
Yeah. Just want attention.
The most powerful stories and images during conflicts and crises tend to focus on people in distress. The more vulnerable, the more powerful the image. Blood, dust, missing limbs. But also in these refugee children, there's hope and strength and little choice but to carry on. Look, kids! Poverty! Feel things! Go on!
Why is my hair red? Fashion, yeah. It's to get attention.
Yes, it is.
So it's to get the attention of little kids like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to get the attention of little kids.
No, don't translate that. That's.
Don't translate that.
The following day, Jack and I visit Zatari, the second biggest refugee camp in the world. Almost 900 acres of tents and caravans. That's the size of the Glastonbury Festival, except the line-up's not as good. And the toilets are similar. And look, sorry, the bumpy roads make it hard for Kieran to hold the camera steady. The fucking idiot! Jesus Christ, Kieran! 2 years ago, Zatari was all desert and dust. Now it's Jordan's 5th largest city, hosting 100,000 refugees. And the holes in the ground prompt Jack to suggest we play...
Refugee golf.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's play a game.
On our arrival, Oxfam's media officer, Carl, that's him at the front, a sort of Middle Eastern version of Hank from Breaking Bad, takes us to meet camp manager Killian Kleinschmidt. Killian has been mayor of Zatari for 8 months, spending most days and nights here.
What's the situation like in the camp today? Because I've heard there's been a little bit of unrest over the last 2 or 3 days.
At all. No. Unrest meant in this camp that we were hiding in our places and people were throwing stones. I just walked through the so-called hostile crowd. Of course, some of them are anxious to be, and the genuine people are anxious to get into the distribution system, but so, I mean, no, we continued business as usual.
Because we'd very much like to go into the market today and do some filming. Do you think that'd be possible?
How easy is that?
There's one area you don't go, because that's where you have some of the unhappy people being less happy than other unhappy people.
Yes.
So you don't go, but the rest is fine. I would ask you to be careful is around cameras, because there have been some, let me call it, irresponsible reporting lately, and people feel not comfortable always with cameras these days.
Some people in the market are less delighted to see us than others. The shops in Zatari are set up and run by the refugees themselves, with their own or borrowed money. They've nicknamed this line of shops the Champs-Élysées. Some of them aren't so camera shy. Accompanied by Carl and Abu, a Zatari refugee of 10 months, Kieran and I explore the market on foot. As well as your clothes and shoe shops, fruit and veg, falafel, butchers, pet shop, seriously, there are bikes, pushchairs, TVs, even fridges on sale.
I expected a lot of this to be things like fruit and vegetables. You've got kind of higher end products like prams and pushchairs.
And washing machines and the TVs. It's like
really?
What you would expect to find in a city market.
Yes.
And then I get given free food by a couple of friendly bakers.
Are you sure?
I feel guilty. Strangely guilty taking this for free. It's my royal family, man. Go and plant a tree in a minute. Get a washing machine. Yes. The major concerns in Zaatari are lack of affordable food and insufficient accommodation. We meet Khalil, who's been living in Zaatari in this caravan for 18 months with his wife and 4 kids. Camp life has clearly taken its toll on Khalil. In Syria, he was wounded from flying shrapnel while running for shelter during an air raid on his home.
بيتي مثل باقي أهل البيوت يعني كله مهدد بالقصف إذا بيتي ما فيه شيء مثلا جاي ساعة مثلا إنه ينزل شيء قذيفة أو شيء أبوة ناسفة بشكل عام المستقبل انتهى.
Khalil sees no hope, but Abu is more optimistic, or at least pretends to be for the sake of his children, including his 6-month-old daughter Remus, who was born here in the camp, a child of Zaatari.
Have you been able to tell your children about the reasons that you had to leave Syria and come here? How much can you tell them and how much do you have to hold back so as not to frighten them?
لا ما بديش اخوفهم يا سيدي. شو بدي اقول لهم؟ قلت لهم جايين زيارة على الأردن إن شاء الله شهر أو 2 أو 3 وبنرجع. بدنا نشوف الأردن، بقولوا الأردن حلوة كثير بأرضها وشعبها وخيراتها. جينا لهون على أساس زيارة. والزيارة شايف لك إياها طولت. كل جرفاني بده يمر بجنبي.
She stole my nose.
I wonder if Remus will grow up in this camp, isolated from the world outside. In the ominously named District 8, the poorest part of Zaatari, full of new arrivals and few amenities, we meet 2 Syrian men whose names we're withholding to protect their identities, who arrived in Zaatari 6 days ago. Though aid workers here are doing what they can, these refugees are struggling to adjust to camp life.
تروح تطلب طلب يقول لك بكره بعد بكره تعال، بكره بعد بكره، شو انت بدك تروح تمك تشحطنا العالم انت يعني وين بدك تروح؟
So why would you consider going back to Syria now that you're here?
بلدنا ما نقدر يعني ما احنا ما نعد هذا عيشه، سجن هذا ما هو عيشه. يعني اللي يموت هناك افضل له ما يجي لهون بالنسبه يعني.
Zaatari can seem a little like a human warehouse at times. But charity organisations like Oxfam are doing what they can to improve conditions here. Oxfam's providing water and sanitation facilities such as this toilet and shower block. But they tell us that more cash is needed, desperately. Before we leave Zaatari, Oxfam takes us to one of their tile painting projects. This is a 3-pronged activity. The kids can play and be creative. It makes them feel a part of their community as the tiles are used to decorate the toilet and shower blocks. And they get paint all over their hands, which teaches them about hygiene. But there's something else going on here. Another reason why it's important for everyone, grown-ups and children, to tell stories of what's happened to them, of what they miss about home, of their hopes for the future. It's a form of therapy. Words and pictures. It's like YouTubing but on ceramics.
You should color him with the same color.
Yes. I've been immortalised.
Jack and I are encouraged to join in. As children of YouTube, we paint what we're missing most about home.
Pleasant Ryan.
We both came to a joint creative decision.
It turned into more of a competition though.
Wow.
Who won? Definitely me.
We're going to leave these here, aren't we? In
Yes, we are.
So if Ryan does ever visit...
If anyone ever visits you...
Anyone, yeah.
Treasure hunt somewhere in Jordan.
In one of the biggest refugee camps in the world. There is 2 tiles with Ryan O'Connor's face on them. We both came to a joint creative decision.
It turned into more of a competition though.
Wow.
Who won? Definitely me.
Well, no,
definitely.
I've done his spots as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where's his hair? I mean, that looks like he's wearing a clown wig.
Ryan. Pleasant Ryan.
By Jack Howard, age 21.
And we're going to leave these here, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So if Ryan does ever visit...
If anyone ever visits you...
Anyone, yeah.
Treasure hunt somewhere in Jordan.
in one of the biggest refugee camps in the world. There is 2 tiles with Ryan O'Connor's face on them.
Of course there is.
Jordan, you are welcome.
On our final day in Jordan, we visited an Oxfam partner project called Voice, which trains refugees in how to become citizen journalists. They're taught how to interview people and how to write articles and blogs. It empowers the refugees by giving them a voice, a platform on which to be heard, whether or not the world is listening. We meet 19-year-old Amira and her mother, Adib. Amira's father was badly injured during the conflict in Syria. Writing about what has happened to their family has been a form of therapy for Amira and Adib too.
نحن الناس اللي بالخارج سوريا طبعا ما راح نستسلم، ما راح نوقف، راح نكفي وبدنا نعمل أي شيء لحتى نساعد سوريا، نرجع سوريا مثل قبل وأحسن كمان.
21-year-old Imani, who didn't want us to show her face on camera, lives in the Mafraq district of Jordan with her mother and siblings. Her father is still in Syria.
What kind of stories interest you the most to report on and to write about?
قصص الأطفال. بحب يعني إنه بكتب عن الأطفال لأنه والأمهات إنه هن أكثر شيء يعني أخذوا القسم الكبير من هالمعاناة، معاناة الشعب السوري. اغتصابات يعني اعتقالات للبنات، يعني وعندنا نحن إنه مجتمعنا إنه بيخافوا على البنت كثير. يعني حتى هون مثلا جيراننا بالاردن لما بنحكي انه كيف يصير معنا، كيف هاي بيستغربوا انه معقول هيك بصير، انه مثل المسلسلات، انه هاي ما مش حقيقه.
كثير حبيت هاي الفكره وحبيت هذا المشروع، وانا بحب من قبل الصحافه بقى كثير كنت انه حابين نكفي ما حابين نوقف.
لانه ما كان عندي ثقه بهالكتابات انه مثل مثلا الشعراء او اللي بيكتبوا، بس هلا حاسه انه بثقه بنفسي اكثر وجرأه اكثر. وبدي اشكر مشروع صوت واشكركم انه يعني عم تعملوا هالشيء كرمالنا كرمال الشعب السوري.
شكرا. The best solution to the crisis in Syria is for the conflict to end. But in the meantime, the rest of the world can protect the victims and refugees and ensure that they get the aid they need. So I'm donating all the money I make from adverts on this video to Oxfam's Syria appeal instead of buying me a beard trimmer. Let's be honest, this beard is the real human tragedy. If you want to do something to help, there are details at the end of this video and in the description. Last month, Project Milsom, spearheaded by vlog brothers John and Hank Green, raised almost $900,000 for good causes, proving the power of stories and the internet and of YouTube. I know many of you donated to that and Jack Scapp's recent Rickshaw Run, which is also a fantastic web series, link in the description. And Christmas was barely a fortnight ago, so you might have had enough of giving. But chances are you still have more than the Syrian refugees do. So if you can spare a few quid, consider it. And if you can't, don't feel bad. You've listened to what they have to say, and that is all that many of them ask, until one day when they can return home.
Do you hope to go back to Syria one day when all this is over? Do you hope to go back and live back home again?
حتى لو في حرب بحب اني ارجع، بس بفكر انه يعني لما ارجع مثلا على حارتي يعني كثير ناس ماتوا فيها، انه ما رح ترجع مثل زمان. يعني زينة شبابها راحوا، اطفالها، البيوت تهدمت، يعني ما عاد في شيء فيها شيء حلو. يعني حتى روح تحس الارض يعني تبكي على شبابها.
وهي هاي ان شاء الله شده وبتزول، وراح نرجع لسوريا وراح تنبنى سوريا من اول وجديد، وراح تظل سوريا هي ام الحزانه. صدقيني. اهم
رساله حابين نوصلها للعالم انه سوريا لسه فيها ناس كثير بحاجه لمساعده. انا بوجه نداء لكل زعماء العالم انهم يوقفوا مع الشعب المظلوم، مع الشعب اللي انخدع.
لانه يوميا كان يروح 100 شهيد بسوريا مختلف مناطق. يعني بتساعد كثير، بس بدها فلوس.
يعني في اطفال بلا اكل، في ناس مصابين، في كبار بالسن بدهم ادويه، فلازم العالم يطلع شوي ويساعدهم، لانه كثير عم نحكي معهم عم يقولوا لنا انه الوضع جدا جدا سيء.
نحن عم نحكي وجعنا، يعني موجوعين، يعني موجوعين من قلب الجوا.
والله يعني عاجز، انا يكون عاجز ما في شيء.
Come on, Jack.
Let's go home. Well, in many ways, Ben, we are home. Shut the fuck up, Jack. That's actually quite insensitive, considering this is a film about the Syrian refugee crisis. Hey, I think they filmed Lawrence of Arabia on that sand dune somewhere over there.
What,
Wouldn't
Star
be surprised.
Wars?
No, not Star Wars. That was a different desert.
Was it?
Yeah,
How do you know?
definitely. Different colour sand, isn't it?
Is it? The moon over there.
Look at the world around you, breathe in the air that makes you. Life is going okay, no street that says one way. Smile as the people pass you, and they can feel it shine through. Never gonna throw this away, cause you're coming of a better day. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh.
Don't pity the dead, Finn. Pity the living. And above all, those who live without... Oh, hello.